We're getting closer to putting an end to the first month of 2016, and Derrell, it's been a bumpy month.
It really has, you know, for a lot of ag markets, and most of it is the kind of the external big picture stuff. Concerns over China continue. They never really went away, but we heard a little bit less about them in the second half of 2015. Back with a vengeance. It's affected the stock market. You know, the dollar's still very strong, and that's likely to continue. Oil prices have continued to drop. All of those factors are affecting ag markets and certainly cattle and beef markets as well, adding, you know, a lot of uncertainty to the cattle industry, where the fundamentals themselves are actually not that weak, but all of this uncertainty really contributes to a challenge for us.
Okay, there've been some poultry news here lately. Let's talk about the bird influenza.
You know, there has been reports again, as feared, that avian influenza would break again. It's early in that process. Some of it's low pathogenic stuff. A little bit of it is a form of high pathogenic stuff. This will be a very dynamic situation, more than likely over the next few days or weeks. So we don't know what it is. However, the impact to some extent on the meat industry is pretty immediate. There's already been at least one country that has announced that they've shut the doors to trade again. That was a problem in the first half of 2015, well, really through most of 2015 for some markets, and so you know, could contribute to an additional challenge in that more of the broiler production in this country will wind up getting eaten in the U.S. rather than being exported, and that will add to our meat supplies.
And what does that do for the price of chicken for the consumer?
Well, it may help moderate that a little bit. You know, broiler production was forecast to be up about 4% this year, 4 to 4.5%, but consumption probably less than that because of the rebound in exports compared to last year. That may not happen now, so it will mean more domestic consumption than we earlier anticipated.
Now, talking about exports, let's talk about the trade situation across the world.
Well, you know, in terms of the cattle and beef industry, the latest data was still from November. We got a little bit to wrap up the year with the final data, but what we saw was a big change at the end of the year, kind of as expected. We had a lot of imports of beef last year, but those really began to moderate in the last part of the year. Exports haven't rebounded yet, although they were not down nearly as much, and that's kind of the situation as we go forward here. We're looking for much less imports in 2016, at least steady exports in 2016, both of which are an improvement over last year. And on the cattle side, we also saw a significant reduction in Mexican cattle imports late in 2015. That'll probably continue in 2016 as well.
Okay, thank you much. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.